What's up, y'all? What's today? Oh, today's Friday. This is my first little thing on my camera. Okay, so we're gonna see how this works. Don't give me no trouble, okay? All right, y'all. I know my house is a mess. I already freaking know that. Like it's tore down. Like tore down. Y'all hear all that? Yeah, that's cat litter, dirt. Yep. Trifling. Kids are trifling. Anyway, let's get into it. We about to start with this litter box. I always come over to the litter box and shake this off. I got to go outside and spray this mat off with a hose. So I do not really know what's been going on with me for the past few months, but I have just not been okay. And that's okay. When I tell y'all I have dreaded everything lately, every chore, every time I have to cook, every time I have to get up and go do something, every time I have to have a full-blown speech with my kids about their behavior, it's just dreadful. And then I had to remind myself, if I'm walking in gratitude every single day, then how am I also living in misery? It doesn't work out. You cannot put those hand in hand. They do not align. Then I also had to tell myself the main goal of the enemy is to steal, kill, and destroy. And I'm over here letting this player just be all up in the club for free. Just taking handouts, just feeding off my soul and my spirit. And I do not like that. I do not like that for me at all. Because I am a very happy go lucky person. I'm always goofing around. I'm always joking around. I'm always uplifting, trying to speak positive. But these past few months, baby, I ain't had nothing but a freaking penny to rub together, okay? And that's about all I could do. And I could barely even do that. All right. My advice has been so like scarce. I be telling people, honey, it's gonna be the blind leading the blind. Do not ask me nothing. I am so sorry. I've actually had people get upset with me because I just haven't been responding. I haven't been handing out advice. I haven't been trying to help everybody. And I probably won't be for a while because baby, I'm really trying to get my mind together. I am going through spiritual warfare. And spiritual warfare be really tearing me down, taking me through there. I don't know if y'all have ever watched Bad Boys Club on Zeus. But yeah, I think Jonathan got a hold of me, and who's got my dreads? Who has them? On a positive note, though, your girl has been back in the gym for almost 2 weeks straight. I'm absolutely feeling so much better. And if I'm being real, it hasn't been a full 2 weeks, but it's two separate weeks with multiple different days in those weeks. Okay? Mind your business. But I'm feeling so much better mentally, physically. The gym really does help me in so many different ways. And yes, your girl does want to have a really nice body, okay? I still got to find my husband. I still got to try on a wedding dress of my dreams one day, okay? So, yes, I do want my body to look good, but it mainly is for my health and for my mental clarity. I've been going through a lot, like I told y'all before, and sometimes that pain in the gym is everything that I need to get my head off of things. And I'm probably not ever gonna stop. I'm probably gonna end up being one of those crazy gym obsessed people because I have nothing else to really be going crazy for right now. And the gym is it's feasible, okay? And it's appeasable. Amen. But I still got a lot of work to do. I've been through a lot and I've put my body through a lot. And I try not to discourage myself because I don't have the ideal quote unquote body that a lot of women have these days with all the plastic surgeries and just what the media puts out there. But I am beautiful in every way, shape, and form. And I really don't care too much about the judgment when it comes to my body. I've come a long way. I've lost over 100 pounds and I've gotten sober. I've birthed three beautiful children. And I have truly changed so much in my life, whether it comes down to my habits, my eating habits, my spiritual habits, just everything. I have completely changed my life as a whole since I've gotten sober. And like I was saying before, never compare yourself to what the media is putting out there. They are glamorizing and glorifying these unrealistic body types and these unrealistic lifestyles. And I am honestly doing this YouTube stuff and really trying to create a new narrative as to what life really looks like. It is not always aesthetically pleasing. It is not always what we want to see or what we want to hear, but this is really what it is. I'm going to get there, but I guess you guys are just going to come along with me and be in this journey with me because I'm not just going to hop up from this situation, come back in a whole new lifestyle, different personality, more money, and I'm not the same person. Like, I'm not doing that. The whole goal is to just show people that change is really possible and recovery is possible. A new life is possible. You are so much more than what the enemy tells you you are in addiction, and that is
the thing that I want to push into people's brains that are in recovery is that all of the things that we went through, all of the things that we have done in our addiction does not define us at all. Like, not a single eensy weensy bit, because you would never do those things if you were not under the influence, okay? If we were not heavily addicted to hardcore drugs and alcohol, we would have never done the things that we did. And that is the whole point. That was not us. Those were demons and evil spirits that were being pushed into our bodies, whether it was up our nose, in our veins, or down our throats, okay? Those are spirits. Those were not us. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Amen. I am in recovery. A lot of people do not know that until I tell them, and I am not ashamed of it at all. I am almost 3 years clean and sober from alcohol and cocaine, and I am so proud of myself. A lot of people think that that's like a dig, like, oh, you used to be on drugs. Yeah, I did. And I'm still doing better than you. So who's the one that should be ashamed here? Not I, said the fly. Not I. Worry about yourself. Don't judge me. Pray to the God that loves you and mind your business, okay? God loves all of us. He don't matter if I was sniffing up stuff or not. And my sober day is 11/7/23. I was arrested 11/6/23. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of just tell y'all a little bit about my last relapse. And they say if you don't remember your last relapse, then you will relapse again. And when I tell y'all I was tore up from the floor up, but I remember every event of this night, traumatized. Anyways, my dumb self has started drinking again, obviously. And I'm not even gonna lie, at this point in my life, I was so down in the dumps. Like, that's really all I had cared about. Like, obviously, I was getting my kids to school, making sure they were fed and all of that. But as far as being fully present, I just was not available for anybody at that point. I felt so low and so, like there was nothing I could give out. Truly, not a single nothing. Anyways, that night, specifically, this girl, she had moved across the hall with her roommates. Mind you, I have like some history with her, but not like close friends, nothing like that. And our only history was honestly just getting drunk together. I had knew her brothers and all of that good stuff. And so we were just kind of like, cool. She drinks a lot, shit, I drink a lot. So that's kind of how that played out. But I had forgot, honestly, like in my addiction, I'd be forgetting little stuff. Like I had forgot at that point, like, oh, I don't think my best friend really even liked this girl like that. So I don't think I should be talking to her. Like, didn't really realize that till obviously later on, right? Okay, so back to the story. My neighbors that were up under me to the right were like my arch nemesis at this point, and I probably created that issue on my own. Who freaking knows? Long story short, they were always like banging up on the floor, or like their kids, they had like teenage kids or whatever, and I felt like it was always some bullshit going on. But I definitely feel like it was probably mostly my fault that it escalated, not gonna lie. Either way, we had gotten to an altercation prior to this event, but this event was definitely more on me. Okay, I'm not even gonna sit here and flex. I got tired of this shit, and I was just like, yeah, this is where it's about to be at today. Anyway, so I'm hanging out with this girl, and honestly, this girl is pretty much a dumbass. Like, Lord forgive me, but I definitely should not have been hanging out with her. I shouldn't have been talking to her, none of that. She's a snake, and that was very evident, like very much so. Anyways, so we're drinking, we're doing this and that, doing that. Long story short, we going out on my balcony. The neighbors downstairs were out on their balcony, you know, smoking cigarettes, whatever. I had made a comment about the cigarette or something, and we had kind of like just got into it. And from that point on, I had already started drinking, like I said. So I was already on 10. Like, I really didn't have much in my head that I felt like I cared about. I know that sounds insane, but I had just lost my giga a few weeks before this. And if you guys know anything about my giga was really like my mom. Like, she literally did everything she could to help me, even when she knew I couldn't be helped. You know, she loved me unconditionally, like regardless of what I did. Like, she just never left my side. She never like fully judged me. She just always loved me with an open heart. But anyways, so I was just really depressed at the time, just really deep in my addiction. This was like my deepest points of my addiction, okay? I was drinking and using every single day. Every time I could get a hold of it, I was doing it, okay? From the time the sun came up to the time the sun went down. And anyway, I start arguing with the neighbors downstairs. We going back and forth, whoop-de-whoop. I'm like, okay, I know I can't fight them because I'm going to end up in jail just like I did last time. Like I said, we got into a physical altercation a month or so prior to that. So I'm out on the balcony, we arguing. I just get to taking stuff out my cabinets and out of my refrigerator, baby. I don't know what I was thinking. I was launching cans of frijoles. You hear what I'm saying? I was launching them cans like I was a MLB affiliate. You couldn't tell me nothing, baby. I played baseball. Do you hear me? I'm a professional at this point. I was launching jars of jelly, cans of beans, cans of corn, peanut butter jars. It didn't even matter. Everything was getting thrown. Okay. I was throwing it at them. I was throwing it at they Dodge Caravan. I just didn't care at that point. I'm like, you want to mess with me? Do you know what I'm going through right now? I don't think you do, but you're about to find out. Yes, you are. But I'm the one who ended up finding out. Yeah, I'm the one who ended up being put in handcuffs because of some stupid stuff. But let me continue the story. So after all this happens, the police obviously come. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. They come to my door. They technically didn't have any evidence that was me who did that. So they basically were just talking to me and they were saying that there was a restraining order put in place, but I never got served a restraining order. So he basically had like a verbal restraining order that he read to me and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Mind you guys, I was recording this entire experience from the time the police got to my house to the time they put me in that car. Yeah, and then so. Anyways, so the police were just talking to me, basically telling me to stay away from them. Now, mind you guys, this is the craziest part of all. So if you don't follow me on social media, you should probably follow me on social media. But long story short, we all know that I'm on probation right now for an assault case, right? So I'm on probation for this case, and the girl who I'm on probation for, why was the cop who arrested me that night? That's her brother. Yeah, that's her brother, Ken folk now. Yep, they're related, brothers and sisters. Yeah, coinciding, same last name. So as you can see, I was obviously never going to win this case that I just tried to fight anyways. So we're just going to bypass that. But yes, now that I'm getting into it, the cop that arrested me that night was indeed her brother. So that night I went to jail, you guys. And I'm being honest, I am so grateful that I recorded everything that happened that night because my best friend has never really threatened to like leave me. But she did that night. She did that next day. She was like, girl, if I find out that any of this stuff is true, I did tell her that I was throwing stuff. I didn't lie about that. I'm like, girl, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Can't say too much on the phone, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like Derek Jeter. You know what I mean? Anyways, quite literally was scared for my life. Like, if I lose my best friend, I literally have nobody. Like, nobody. This is it. This is how this goes. Like, we all know that I don't really have a good relationship with my family. Never really have. I've never had that close bond with my mom. So it's like, yeah, I'll call her if it's like a serious emergency, but that just is not my first go-to. That was never my first go-to. I'd just be too scared to do all of that. It's always some extra stuff behind it, and I just don't really have time for that, if I'm being honest with you. So it was like, my gigas passed away. She was sick, you know, and I was like my emergency contact, right? For years was my emergency contact. And now, like, my emergency contact was like kind of like my best friend. Like, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to like, oh my gosh, I need somebody to talk to. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I need advice, you know, stuff like that. And it was sad that I had to put her through that, but I'm just grateful that she stayed with me through it. Okay. I do not know what I would have did without my best friend. And I love her so much, like, truly. Anyways, back to the story. I told y'all I got ADHD. I cannot help it. I'll be going from this story to that story to this story to that story. Okay. But they all coincide, if I'm being honest with you. Anyways, so the whole situation was being recorded, and he gave me that verbal restraining order, right? So he goes downstairs to talk to the neighbors that I got into the confrontation with and to tell them, like, basically she's not being reprimanded, and, you know, there's a restraining order in place now. If she talks to you, contact us, but that's basically how we're going to handle the situation. So I'm recording everything, right? I'm talking to the camera, like, you know, whatever, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. I'm pretty sure I probably was talking shit, but I wasn't talking to anybody. I'm talking to the camera. I'm recording. And I'm low-key, like, just poked out my door. So I'm not just, like, in nobody's face. I'm all the way at the top of the stairs. And the police officer, old girl's brother, got so pissed. He started jetting up the stairs, literally put me on the ground and did all this extra stuff using excessive force and, like, dragged me down the stairs, put me in the car. Obviously, I had pissed him off. But mind you, the girl is still in my house. And not only is she in my house, but my daughter, Ayla, is sleeping in my bed. Hendrix was with her people. She was, you know, younger, and she was with her people at the time. Y'all know she has godparents and everything. But Ayla was sleeping in my room because that night when me and that girl were drinking and everything, her roommates have daughters that were around her age and they were all playing. I don't know if you ever had like a little hood situation growing up, but that's kind of how people did it. Kids played with the kids, the parents played with the parents. You know what I mean? Was it healthy? Absolutely not. Once again, I'm in recovery from addiction, okay? So none of these things are normal, right? None of these things are normal. So not only is my daughter sleeping in that bed, but when my daughter woke up from her slumber, she had to know that her mom got put in freaking jail overnight. So when I tell y'all I don't play about my kids and all those generational cycles and all the trauma that I put my babies through when it came to this addiction, I don't play at all. Hence why I will cut anybody off, blood or not, quick, fast, in a hurry if you try to hurt my kids. I don't even play those games at all. Okay? None of those weird obsessive behaviors, all that stuff has to go. That's not even a thing. But yes, so get back into it. My best friend, I get a hold of her, obviously, as soon as I get down there. I'm calling her. I end up getting a hold of her. She ends up going to get Ayla and getting her to her dad. So she was, obviously safe and everything. But like I said to y'all before, this girl was obviously a snake. So there is a lot of things that happen in between time that I will address maybe another time. Matter of fact, maybe I just have time today. So mind y'all, like I said, I was recording this whole situation, but on the low, she was too. And she was not doing it to be helpful. She was doing it to be spiteful. Come to find out, my mom ended up telling me while I was actually incarcerated for this, that that girl sent that video that she recorded to my son's dad, who even talks about this man. So she sent that to my son's dad and told him some bullcrap that happened. Then she lied to my best friend. Like I told y'all, my best friend don't even like this girl. So she didn't even want to have to communicate with this girl, but she kind of had to when she went to go get Ayla, and lock up my apartment and do all of that. That girl told my best friend that I was talking bad about her. If you know anything about me, I don't even play about my best friend. I would never speak ill on my best friend to another bitch. Never. Okay? So I'm telling her, like, girl, no, that's not true. She ends up finding out a lot of this stuff because, like I said, for some reason, I was just recording everything that night. I was just recording stuff. Like, y'all, I was so out of it, but I remember everything. Like, and all this stuff came to pass. All the truth came out eventually, which I am grateful about. Bria, whatever you did in that drunken time, good job on that part, because you would have been screwed. So I ended up staying overnight in the drunk tank, obviously, and I saw the magistrate the next day around like 1 p.m. When I saw the magistrate, I ended up basically getting a bond and being told I needed to get put on a tether within the next 24 hours. So I'm like, bet, at least I get to go home. I get to go to sleep, eat something. Honestly, in my head, the only thing I could think about was seeing my kids and taking a couple shots so I could feel better and just keep it pushing, okay? I had no intentions on getting sober. So anyways, God had other plans. When I tell y'all, I called my baby daddy and my best friend so quick, like, please come buy me out. This is the bond. I need to get home. They like, bet, okay. So my baby daddy was on his way. An hour go by, 2 hours go by. I'm calling him like, what's going on? He's like, literally, I'm up here right now and they're not letting me bond you out. I'm like, what do you mean? Y'all, a bailiff comes to the cell and tells me that the magistrate needs to talk to me again. So I go back in the little mini courtroom. I'm back on the Zoom with the magistrate. She tells me, y'all, that I'm not going home, that I'm not even allowed 100 feet within my apartment at all. I can't go check my mail. I cannot go pack my belongings. I can't do anything. And if I don't have an address to give to JSG, which is the tether people, then I can't get out of jail, period. It don't matter if I have a bond or not. That little $250 was about to get paid, but the judge was not having it. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened, but I'm starting to kind of realize that was literally God's divine protection. Sometimes rejection is protection. God knew what I needed. He knew what needed to happen in my life. And regardless of what the world might think or how it was technically supposed to go by court stipulations, He is the Almighty. He has the final say. I have been begging God to help me. I have been begging God to help me get sober because I knew that if I didn't stop, that I wasn't going to be here much longer. And I have children to raise. I have a life to live. I did not deserve to treat myself that way. And God wanted better for me. So I did my sentence. I did what I had to do. After I was released, I went into a sober living facility that was basically just houses on a certain part of town in Lansing. And you basically just kind of self-help. Like you go to your meetings while you're there. I was going to 3 meetings a day for 30 days. And then I decided it was time for me to go back to work. I had about 2 months of work before I had to basically be out before my funding was up. It did take me a while to get a home because I had bad history on my record. I had a criminal record, and I just didn't have a lot of money to put down an apartment. I was like, as much as I got is about $3,000, and that was me saving every single check that I got since I had started working. But when I tell you guys, I was so determined and I was so ready to get my kids back. I was tired of visiting my kids with my baby daddy just pulling up and me just saying, "Hey, how are you?" in a car, or seeing them for a few hours on the weekend to take them somewhere fun. That stuff was really depressing. It made me feel like crap about myself. I literally would be so depressed every day when I got back to the house. I would just cry. But I still had to make that dang 8 o'clock meeting now, didn't I? And I wanted sobriety so bad that there was nothing I wouldn't do to make sure that I achieved that goal. Everything in my body, every part of my spirit just wanted to be the best mom that I could ever be for my kids. And feeling that sense of failure, feeling that sense of defeat that I felt when I was in these positions was everything that I needed to bounce me back into shape. Like, to be honest with you, this was the rock bottom for me. Some people say that obviously my rock bottom wasn't their rock bottom, but that's also God keeping me protected in those seasons as well. And everything that I went through was literally all a part of God's plan for my testimony. And this isn't the end. This is probably literally the middle. I don't even think I've hit the climax yet, if I'm being honest. And that's what truly scares me. But I trust God with all of my heart to bring me through all of my hardships out on top. There is nothing that I would take back. As much as I go back and I start thinking about other things, which once again, we're not supposed to look back in the past. And anytime that I do, it creates a deep, dark hole of depression. And it's like, absolutely not. My God has brought me through all of these things. I don't need to live in that at all. And we all know the story of Lot's wife. She kept, trying to look back in the past. Baby, there is nothing back there for you, and turned into a pillar. I am not trying to be stuck like that for the rest of my life. I am trying to set an example for my beautiful children so that they know that they are always worth everything that they put their minds to. There is nothing too big for them to achieve. And what we're not going to do is sit here and act like life just be all peaches and cream ever since you get sober. Literally, recovery is just cutting out the middleman. I'm cutting out the main issue that stems to other issues. That doesn't mean my problems and all my issues go away. If I'm being honest with you, it just made everything more clear. I have more mental clarity. I have more control over the situation. And I'm not being puppeteered by the enemy to do what he wants me to do. Life is still hard. I still struggle. And if I'm being honest, I'm in one of the hardest parts of my life in this moment. Sober, okay? So don't just think that life is going to just instantly and magically appear so much different and so much better. Things do get better immediately by the way you feel after a couple weeks, the way you think, all of that good stuff. But when I tell y'all, it took me almost a full year just to gain back my actual emotions, like laughing at the right stuff, crying at the right stuff. I was a ball of just unused emotions. Everything was coming out. Anger, sadness, depression, anxiety, like all those things were all just reacting at one point ever since I came to, it feels like. That's literally what it feels like when you get sober and you actually start to become self again. It's like coming to, like you're in a coma for so long or something. It's weird. It's still hard to believe that I'm literally coming up on 3 years of recovery and sobriety. On November 7th, 2026, I'll have hit 3 years of sobriety. I'm so proud of myself. Nevertheless, the work that I've put in definitely does not go unnoticed, and I'm going to continue to strive for excellence every single day. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to be dismayed. I'm not going to get discouraged because I know God has a plan for my life, and I'm going to fight to the depths of HE double hockey sticks if I got to, okay? We are not giving up. We are not letting the enemy win. Girlies, get up. This is for a lot of my ladies, a lot of my single moms that are in recovery. Get up and do what you plan to do today. Do not let the enemy have you dismayed, worrying about what tomorrow gonna bring, worried about what you did yesterday, okay? Do not let the strays ruin your days, and I stand on that, okay? I love you all so much. Thank you so much for your guys' support. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this video is not like a lot of the other videos, but this is really an insight on who I am as a person and the things that I've been through. And this is just a glimpse of what I got in store. And y'all already know your girl is not okay when my house ain't right, okay? Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. Banoopsies Bunnies for life. Go subscribe, share, comment, and like those videos. Get into it, y'all.